Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? Hey, it's me, Terrell, again. Just doing another video of talking about subjects that, like I said, either don't get talked about or they get talked about very little. So, I'm gonna be speaking on an interesting subject. It really pertains to everything we are and what we do and how we think. The subject is going to be condition, environment, and circumstances. I say these three things because they really play a big part in everyone's life, each individual life, no matter what field of study you have, psychologist, whatever. I mean, these three things play a part in life. So, the first one I'm gonna talk about is one's condition, one's status. How a individual is. And when I mean there's condition, and then there's conditioned, like something that's been shaped, by something, conditioned. It can be an outward influence, it can be an inward influence, it can be something that shaped or mold the mind. And also something that goes with this too as well is, your perspective. Your perspective, is your viewpoint of something. How you see something, point of view of something, what is your reaction, what is your thought on something. So when one's mind is conditioned, it's, I guess you can use the term like molded. Their mind has been molded like some like metal been made, like it's been fashioned or molded or forged into something. And molding, has different types, of I guess you can say functions. When you mold something, you're shaping it. When a bowl is being made, whatever, it first have to take the shape of that which is molding it. In order to have multiple molds, you have to already have a mold that's already been made. It's sort of like, I guess you can say, like a solid conviction of something. Because, like, when it comes to, like, if a person said they're very convicted of something, very convicted means it's something that took root in their heart. And also in their mind too as well, which, of course, both of them go hand to hand. So when one is convicted, they have been conditioned by something. They've been shaped. They've been molded by something. And conviction can go both ways. There's conviction in a good way, and of course there's conviction in a bad way. It can be like, for instance, a person may be of a certain religion, and they've been convicted, therefore they have a conviction to carry out what they believe, fully in their heart and in their mind. I mean, again, the condition is a mold of something that, when it goes back to condition, is something that has been molded to the point where anything can easily change it or easily can break it. With any conviction, a person can be unconvicted. A person who believes something can unbelieve something. So that conviction, like I said, is just a diehard belief that a person have, that's not easily changed. And, and of course, with some convictions, it also depends on the belief too, as well, that you have people who are what you call diehard believers. You're those who've been so conditioned, then convicted to the point that they're willing to, you know, die with whatever belief they have. So that's it for conviction. I can speak more about that later. But the next one we can move into environment. Environment. Pretty much, what's in your circle, I guess, what's in your visible environment, what's in your visible circle, your environment, when you're outside in your house, in your yard, around your friends. The environment you can have anything in your environment, because it's pretty much, well, at least your known environment is the territory that you're used to already, that you're familiar with, your environment, you know, just like, the environment, your house, your yard, and also environment when it comes to who you let in, and when you let someone into your environment, you're saying that you trust them. You trust them, that you let them in your environment. Or, all three of these is also connected to as well. I would say as in the circle, because all of these can be a repeat pattern. It can, a repeat pattern, a repeat habit. It's all in a circle. It's all within the person's control, and sometimes it's not within a person's control. Your environment, sort of like your small territory, of the mind, or, of the heart, or whatever your belief circle is, your environment, and of course, also with environments, you also have like, there's borders, there's like territories, that you yourself control, your environment, what you allow, what what you're familiar with, into your known circle, I guess you can say. And then lastly, this is also probably the most scariest out of all three. And of course, that would be circumstances. Circumstances, if you want a good, like, simple definition of circumstances, you can say an individual, a person, no matter who it is, they're standing, and then there's a circle. That would be a good definition. Well, let me explain that. Circumstance, the word circle, stance, standing, or one's standing. Therefore, you get the word circumstances or circumstance. How one stands in there, what's around them. And what's around you can be either controlled or non-controlled. Something you have control of, something that's, that you're familiar with, maybe, and with circumstances, it can pop up at any time. It can be, a low degree problem or situation. It can be a high degree problem where it's taken very seriously. So, it's both. It's controlled and uncontrolled. I say circumstances, that word is scary because, your circumstances, what you're standing in right now, can lead to condition, what I explained about earlier. Condition, whatever happens in your circle as you standing in that circumstance, will have the end result of it conditioning your mind. And when the mind or the mentality, has been conditioned, the mentality, so therefore it forms the person, the individual, or the personality. You conquer the mentality, you would conquer the personality, or you will redefine the personality. Again, when it comes to that circumstance, something bam can, and it's also about how you react, how you look at something. There's an action and then there's a reaction. How you react to the action that has happened to you already. How you look at the situation. What's your perspective in your circumstance? How do you view it? How do you look at it? Is it a small problem that a person, magnified, they made bigger, or is it a big problem that yet a person looked at it from a small way, which small can be either not taken seriously, or small can be, even though it's a big problem, I'm not going to let it have a big impact on me. And that's the scariest one. You can probably see why it's the scariest one, because usually a lot of people, they let something redefine them, their circumstances, redefine them, and, there's a lot of things we cannot control in our lives. Some things will happen just because they will happen. Some things happen because of something we caused, and some things happen because of what somebody else has caused. And some things just naturally happen because that's just a natural order of certain things. Again, you can make a small situation into a big situation. You can have a little impact on a big problem. It's just all about how one looks at their situation. What's in your environment. I would say, for the most part, your environment, is your safety net. It's your kingdom that you have control, that you can see and reign. All these things can, there's remedies to all of them. Your condition, just because somebody said this or that, you don't have to let it shape you or mold you or fashion you into something that you don't want it to be. Your environment, that's your fort, that's your area, that's your circle, that's your kingdom. You're familiar with whatever you have, your own weaknesses, your own weaknesses better than anybody else, and your circumstances is how you stand in the, I guess, the momentary happening of something that's, surprisingly, or a lot of times unexpected, or a lot of times, it can be something that was one thing and then the situation got even more and more intense. So, these three, is all dealing with the individual, even with condition. You gonna it's about how you stand in your mind. Do you see yourself as the center, of your problem, as in though you're in the middle of your problem, but yet you're not gonna let your problem get to you or rule you or dictate you in any type of way. And keep in mind, the circle is very, very important, because again, like I said, a lot of things are a cycle. A lot of things are a cycle. The sun, the earth, the sun, the moon, how the earth rotates, how the seasons of the year rotates, habits rotate, it's a circle. and there's no end to a circle. So all the things is how we see and view things. We just have to get our circle, in check, and we just need to be the type of people who are in control of our environments. One thing that helps is it's going to happen. Unexpected things are going to happen, and it always will happen. But again, you have the power to control whatever happens. You don't have to let your situation, your circumstance say, hey, do this, and you do it. And that's what most people do because they follow the law of the majority. The law of the majority says that most people do this, so therefore I follow it. But how many of us know that really it's the few that really are the true heroes, the world changers, the law of the few? You have it in every age, every country, every no matter what it is. Since the beginning of time, there's always been the law of the few and the law of the majority. The few are the world changers. Those are the ones that the majority will, of course, won't believe. But no matter what you're going through, you always got those three things that will happen. Those three things, if you study those three things and remember, those three things and the definition of all three of them, then you would be okay. That most of the problems that come to you, its stinging teeth has already been taken out of it. So therefore, when it does come to you, it doesn't hurt you as bad, or it doesn't hurt you at all. So yeah, my friends, brothers and sisters, thank y'all for listening. Share this message with everyone, please. Share this message with everybody. Subscribe to my channel. Those who haven't, please do. Again, I talk about different subjects, so I hope you all enjoy my video. And again, if there's anything that I said where you don't agree with whatsoever, again, I can take criticism as long as it's constructive and done in a respectful way. So let me know in the comments, man. Y'all, thank y'all for being a wonderful audience, and I hope to see you all in the future. Have a wonderful day, y'all.